How's it going, everyone? Today I'm going to be doing my review of the SpellGround Ultra V5, the two retro editions. There might have been more than just these two as retros, but these are the two that I have. This is the tan version. This was the first one that they released in V5. And then this is the gray version. I have the bag. So when you buy it, or when you had bought it, this is what it came with. So I didn't really talk about the bag in the V6 review, but all SpellGrounds to this point have basically come in a bag with a little paper insert saying what it is. So for this review in particular, I'll be going over the gray version. I feel like it's the more sought after just because of the color and it being the retro with the blue ink. And I'll kind of just give some information about it, and then I'll kind of give my opinion and thoughts and my experience with the mat. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section down below. So I'll kind of start out by showing you an up close look at the material and the ink. I should have done this on the other review, so I apologize. But it is very, very similar to the V2 fabric in my opinion. Like just the look of it as well as just the texture of it. Here is my V2 moss for a comparison. So it's very like similar. The grooves in the material are a lot like smaller and tighter, whereas this is, I guess, more open. So opening it up, it's a 2-player mat. I don't know if they came out with any 1-player versions of the Ultra V5 material. So it's got some differences from the original or from the newer releases. The artwork itself is actually the original art from the 1994 SpellGrounds that they made. And they also, like with that, used the original ink press for it. So these lines go all the way straight across, whereas the newer ones, it kind of cuts. And then the swirls on it are like a lot closer. So on a V2 mat, you'll have it kind of break off, and then the line just stops right here. And then the swirls itself, it's not like super noticeable, but just something to I guess, be aware of. Kind of cool. The material itself in their video on YouTube said that it was like a polyester microfiber. It's very like smooth, but has a little bit of a fuzz to it. But where it isn't smooth is where it's folded. If you are in the market of buying one of these, which would have to be secondhand because they're not in production anymore, I would definitely, if it's folded, iron it and then get a tube to roll it into, just because the folds in this mat are by far the worst of the 6 mats that they've produced, in my opinion. This mat was released in 2018, and the material itself, it is similar to V2. At least that's the easiest comparison, but it's a lot more dense and it's just a little bit thicker. And they claim that it's 20% heavier. For me, it feels like almost twice as heavy as one of the other mats. Maybe like about as heavy as a rubber mat, but I mean, that's not a huge deal breaker. In my opinion, that's actually kind of a good thing, because just having it be more dense and heavy, I don't know, just feels more satisfying, I guess. So I said earlier that this is their original press, so that also means you get the SpellGround logo in the original font. And then the only other like main difference from the original 1994 versions is they just wrote copyright 2018 instead of I think 1994 artwork by Jeff Brain. So this mat was definitely more expensive than any of the other mats that they had made. I don't remember what I paid for. I want to say it was like $74.95, around there. I just remember it was like more than $60, which back then that was like, you know, a lot. But nowadays everyone's selling mats for over 200 bucks resale, and some companies are selling over around $100 for retail. So definitely for the time period in 2018, it was probably a good bang for your buck, especially for this colorway. So let's get on to, I guess, how it performs. So most people in Yu-Gi-Oh will play with white sleeves, so it looks great with white sleeves. And then if you're trying to like fan it out, so like my main gripe with this mat is just the creases. They're really bad. This is after I tried flattening it out for the last few days, and it didn't do a whole lot. I haven't taken an iron to it, partially because I don't know what an iron will do to it. And if you are ironing it, you would want to do it from like the back. But I'll probably end up like selling both of them after this review, just because I'm sure someone else will probably appreciate it a little bit more. But glide test, like it slides fine, great. It's not like broken in. So I feel like this material in general will break in really nice, just because of it when it's like little fuzzies on top of a nice textured fabric. I feel it's better than just having the straight fuzzy velvety material, kind of like their V4. It's like what MetaMat's Imperium Duelist and the more recent Pyramid mats are. I like this more just because I feel like over time it'll feel great. It also doesn't really have any kind of negative axis on it, so you don't have to worry about going one way or the other. Just got to worry about these folds. The mat is the same size as the other ones. It folds really nice. There doesn't seem to be like any kind of miscutting or slant, but overall this mat has hardly ever been played on. So I bought it when I wasn't playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And just kind of like had it for the time when I would play. And then when I did start playing again, I just went back to playing on my V2 Moss. So that's been my main mat for several years. But I do like the look of this mat. It's cool that it's a retro. So if you didn't have a V1 or were like looking for a V1 and you didn't like the material, but you liked the overall design, this would be a good option for you. I don't know what these run for on the secondary market. Every once in a while I see them around like 150 to 200, but I don't see Ultra V5s very often. I don't know why that is. Maybe it just wasn't like as popular, but it was also 2018. People weren't buying up stuff just to resell back then. I can quickly show you the gray or the tan version. Both of these mats have never been like taken out of their bags outside of like a bedroom or just me like looking at it. So this has been sitting in a bag, not being pressed down, and I don't know if you can really tell on camera, but the folds in it are just, you know, like me pushing down, it's higher than however many cards this is. So it's just something to be aware of. I would definitely get like a rolling tube or something to put this in if you wanted to use it. To be honest, looking at this now, I kind of like the brown material more. I'll show you up close. Overall, I kind of just want to say, like, I really like the mats. I just wish the folds in it weren't that great. So from V6, it's just got kind of a weird feeling on your skin, whereas this one, your cards aren't going to feel super great trying to slide around on a creased surface. But if you just roll it up, it's probably great. I just don't have a carrier for it. If you have experience with the Ultra V5, you can comment down below your experience and maybe give your opinion to help people out. That's the purpose of these videos, is to kind of, you know, show what these mats are, because no one else talks about them on YouTube or social media, really. It's kind of a little niche thing that certain people like me are into, is play mats and cosmetics for TCG games. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.